Hi, and welcome to this edition of Fresh Hope for Mental Health. Our mission here at Fresh Hope for Mental Health is to empower you to live well in spite of your mental health challenge by sharing insights through interviews, practical tools for living well, encouragement, and courage for overcoming all from a Christian perspective. And now, here's your host, Pastor Brad Hafes.
Hello, my friend, and welcome to Fresh Hope for Mental Health. I'm Brad Hafes, your host. Our purpose here on Fresh Hope for Mental Health is to empower you to live a faith-filled, rich, and full life in spite of having a mental health diagnosis. Well, today you're in for a treat. We want to give you a little update on some of the things that are going on in Fresh Hope right now, and we're going to be talking with one of our staff members who lives in El Salvador, and many of you know her as Sam. Her name is Samantha, or Samantha, as maybe her father says, but great to have you. Good morning, Sam.
Hi, Pastor Brad. It's great being here. Thank you for having me, and hello to everyone who's listening.
Yes, we're really glad that you're listening today because we're going to share with them a few things about what is going on in your areas of Fresh Hope. Maybe start with a very short synopsis of who you are, how you ended up coming to Fresh Hope, and then tell us what you do at Fresh Hope.
Awesome. So I live in El Salvador, like you said, and years ago, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder type 2. Of course, I had no clue what that meant when I heard that for the first time.
Yeah.
And what happened is at first I started reading all these books about bipolar disorder, and all that happened was I got more hopeless.
Oh, yeah.
As I read what it was, and I started to, if I hadn't felt a symptom before, after reading about it, I started to feel it.
I can relate to that. Yes.
Yeah, it was like, oh my God, no, So I was really hopeless, and I've been a Christian for all of my life. I have a genuine relationship with the Lord, thank God, and by His mercy. So I prayed, and I asked to know somebody. I asked the Lord, I wanted to know somebody else that was a Christian, and preferably a pastor, I said, that had bipolar disorder. And the Lord heard my prayer, and in spite of the many miles apart, He introduced me to you, Pastor Brad. I was Googling, and Fresh Hope came up on my Google search, and I immediately started attending a support group online. And I ordered the Fresh Hope book, which was very different from every other book I had read before, because this one filled me with hope.
How wonderful.
So
That's
to sum up,
great.
yeah.
That's by God's mercy also.
You know what? It's I was already on medicine by the time I came to Fresh Hope, but medicine is not magic, so of course it didn't get me my hope back.
Yes, and it doesn't change your thinking, does it?
No, it doesn't. It certainly doesn't.
It helps get the chemicals moving right in your brain, but you have to do some work along with the medicine. Yeah,
and when I read your book, Pastor Brad, and I read all the recovery principles, it was like, it was God's revelation. It was Him giving healing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And so my hope was restored.
Wonderful.
And eventually I had this fire burning in my heart that we had to have this in Spanish as well.
Yes.
So that's how I came to Fresh Hope.
Yeah, you started being in charge of all of our Spanish translations and putting the training in Spanish and helping us get Spanish-speaking Fresh Hope groups going. You were busy, but then we brought you onto staff full-time, and now what do you all do? Tell our listeners what it is that you all do.
Well, thank God I've had this opportunity, and it's everything I do, I just want to say it's really fulfilling. And I'm basically in charge of many of the operations areas of Fresh Hope, like overseeing starting new groups and overseeing the groups we already have. And I get to be in touch with facilitators and regional ambassadors who are like master facilitators sort of thing.
Yes, yeah. And not just in Spanish, but in English and now soon to be other languages, correct?
Yes, so the Lord has been opening up doors for us in India, in Japan, in Zimbabwe, in Australia. And so this is just, you know, becoming where the Lord has seen the brokenhearted are all around the world. And
Sure.
he's leading us and bringing us to people who are great connections that could make Fresh Hope work in their countries and their languages as well.
Yes,
Uh,
it's amazing to me. I had the opportunity to meet the ambassadors from India as well as Japan here in the last week, and oh my goodness, I must say it's so strange. It's so strange to me that these principles of recovery and plugging faith into hope and infusing hope with faith is so universal. I mean, it doesn't matter what
yeah.
country, it doesn't, and it blows me away that the Lord is using this in such a powerful way, that it's
Yes.
transcending cultures, you know?
Oh, yes. I love what you just said. It's so true. It's a universal thing, no matter the language, no matter the culture. It's like everybody's looking for that
Yeah.
faith infused hope.
You just trained how many facilitators in Zimbabwe? Was it
Well,
10?
we have a group of 10 to 12 facilitators. One of them is from Zambia, and she has been diagnosed with depression, and so she's really with a lot of expectations about getting to know the Fresh Hope principles and recovery tenets, and just
Great.
being able to bring that to her country.
Isn't that something? It's amazing to me. And, we have Spanish groups starting in the United States all over the place, and Spanish speaking ambassador down for all the Spanish speaking groups down in Texas who just lost his wife. And that's so difficult, I'm sure. But
Yes,
we keep
yes,
Mario in our prayers. And at the time of recording this, which we're in 2022 right now,
yes,
because some folks might listen to this a year from now or 3 years from now. But at the time of
yes.
recording this podcast, we have people from 14 different countries in our groups besides the United States. And so that's amazing. Let's just stop and ask, or if you would just share quickly with the folks, what do they do if they'd like to be trained as a facilitator and maybe think that they have a place that would host or sponsor the group?
That would be wonderful. If you're out there and you are listening to this and you want to be filled with hope, there's no better place than serving and giving to
Mm,
others.
I agree.
Even if you're not 100% recovered, I promise you, by practicing the principles and serving, which is one of the principles, actually, the seventh principle,
Mm-hmm.
um, you will get more stable and more purpose than ever before in your life. So if you're interested in starting a group and you think you have a place where you can, a church that can sponsor your group, which means basically to provide a place for you to have the group, or if you want to have a group online, to offer a group online as
Yes.
well, you can just shoot me an email, Samantha@freshhope.us, or go to our webpage, and you can go to our store, to our shop. Our webpage is freshhope.us, easy to remember, and you can get the facilitators training right away.
Uh-huh.
And it's very easy to follow. It's very practical. But please do let me know, Samantha at freshhope.us, so I can support you.
Yes. And in fact, if you let Samantha know that you heard this on this podcast, we'll give you the facilitator training for free. And you can
Ah,
take it
amazing.
online. Yes. And so we have Fresh Hope groups. Now, you also work in the area of our hope coaching.
Oh, yes. And that is so exciting, Pastor Brad. So many people ask me what's the difference
Yes.
between a facilitator and a hope coach. And well, a facilitator is trained to lead a support group, right? A peer to peer
Yes.
Fresh Hope support group. But on the other hand, a hope coach is a one on one support with people that have or may not have a diagnosis
Yes.
and are just feeling stuck for some reason. Some circumstances in life have made them feel hopeless or like there's no future. So
Yes.
when they ask to talk to a hope coach, well, they get 3 to 5 sessions, perhaps, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more,
Mm-hmm.
where the hope coach does some very good listening. They're trained to listen well and ask key questions to help the other person process the pain.
Mm-hmm.
And as they do that, and you know what I love about this, Pastor Brad, is that you've taught us that this hope coaching program and all the training for hope coaches, uh, we just see it working in practice, but behind it, there's a 25-year long research on how hope works.
From clinical research, yes, yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah. So
we've
it's
implemented those very basic things that they learned out of 25 years into this hope coaching. Yeah.
yeah. So a hope coach is bringing that to life, so to say, in their
Mm-hmm.
relationship with the hope seeker. And it's wonderful what happens when people process their pain where they couldn't see a way forward, they suddenly start to see one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very fulfilling to actually be a hope coach and see people go through that. Like
Yes. Yes.
it's very fulfilling. And
Yeah.
I believe, Pastor Brad, that the hope coaching program is sent for such a time like this.
Yes. And this can be implemented and what do we call it? We call it embedding it into a church where you train like your small group leaders, your pastoral staff, your anybody, Sunday school teachers, ushers, it doesn't matter. Anybody that's interacting with people in your church can be trained in this. It's not like you all of a sudden put your badge on that says, now I'm a hope coach, but it's more when you run into somebody who has a difficult circumstance that they're facing and they feel stuck, that you can, in fact, use this to help them
Yes.
move along, right? So,
Yes. e- Exactly. I believe it's very um in Spanish we say versátil. Here's my Spanish coming in the middle of a podcast.
oh, that's
Forgive me.
good. Yeah.
Is versatile a word in English?
Versatile?
Me, yeah.
Yes,
So
yes, it
me,
is. You
so
can use it in all kinds of situations. Yeah.
yeah. So that's hope coaching. Like you really take advantage of the skills you learned by becoming a hope coach
Yes.
in all of your relationships. You can embed it in your church, or you could even become certified to be a hope coach for Fresh Hope if
Yes.
you wanted to.
And that
Uh,
means what? Because that's the other
yes,
thing for you as a listener, maybe you are feeling hopeless or stuck, and we have a place that you can go, and we call it our Hope Coach Connector, where we will connect you with the right hope coach so that you can meet with them online and talk with them. And how do they go about doing that? Samantha?
Well, that for anybody who's listening, you would have to just go to our website, freshhope.us, and there's a place there where you can look for a hope coach, ask to talk to a hope coach. So you would fill out a very brief form, just they ask some very basic questions, and then you basically get a user in our platform that is their Hope Coach connector. This platform smart matches hope coaches to hope seekers.
Mm-hmm.
So based on the answers you gave when you answered the form, it matches you with somebody that has some lived experience similar to yours, that speaks your same language. And if it's a male, it matches you to a male hope coach, or if it's a female, it matches you to a female hope coach. So you just request a hope coach, and within 24 to 48 hours, you get an answer from a hope coach, and you
Yes.
get to communicate through the Hope Coach connector.
Yeah, and you could use text or phone, and it's through a private network, so they don't know what your phone number is, you don't know theirs, but there's a number, and there's a way to communicate through emails and all kinds of ways. It's a great thing that, but it's taken us about a year and a half or 2 years to make all of that work, but it's a phenomenal thing.
Yes, you can even schedule Zoom calls and just go to a platform and click Zoom call. You don't have to remember links or have an account or whatever. It's very easy to use. So I encourage anybody who's feeling hopeless, no matter your situation, you can request a Hope Coach, or anybody who wants to serve, you can become a Hope Coach.
Yes.
And it would be great.
Yeah. Now, there's one other thing that we introduced in the last, I think it's year, and that's our Fresh Hope Network. You want to tell them about that?
Oh, yeah. That's Fresh Hope Network is a private social network. It's just like Facebook would be, for instance, but just for the Fresh Hope community. I mean, anybody can be a part of it, but what I mean is you see people from Fresh Hope. You can see other facilitators, other members of other groups. You can have your own group within the Fresh Hope Network and communicate with the members of your Fresh Hope group. You have a news feed. You can send messages individually, like in the Facebook Messenger, and you have actually you have your profile. You can post, and it's all hope-filled. And you can access your courses with the Fresh Hope Network. And we have an app. So if you have Android or Apple, it doesn't matter. Just go to your store and search Fresh Hope Network, and you can download the app. It's free.
Yeah.
It's free, and it's really worth it. It's a hope-filled social network.
Yes, and on that app, there's an important tool that recently a doctor discovered that we had it on our app and was thrilled, because many times those of us who have mood disorders need to track our mood. We need to track how we're doing, and we can't always remember when we go to a doctor's appointment or maybe a therapist appointment, and that is, we have a mood tracker on the app, right?
Oh, yeah. The mood tracker is a great tool. And I believe all of us with mood disorders should use one, because, otherwise when you go to the doctor, you don't report as accurately, right?
Yes. It's more in the moment, how you feel at that moment.
Exactly. If you're having a down day, then the whole month is reported like down.
Yep. Yeah.
And that may not be accurate. So you know what I didn't mention? You can make friends like you do on Facebook.
Yes, in the social network. Or in the Fresh Hope Network. Plus, you can start your own affinity group. Let's say you have a dual diagnosis or something like that. You can actually start, you can start that affinity group of people that are alike experiences and things like that.
Yes, you can have, according to your own particular need, you can request to have a group under that and get to know other people in that same
Yep.
situation.
Now, the network is just starting, so it's a good time to join it. We have, probably about 600 or 700 people on it, but not everybody's using it yet. They're finding out, they're discovering, so if you're the kind of person who really would like the network of having friends and people to comment and all of that, but you don't do it on Facebook because it's so public and it's just out there for everybody. This is not out there for everybody. This is a closed environment, so it's really a safe thing.
Exactly. It's a safe place.
Yeah. Sam, I'm wondering, is there anything that we're missing that you'd like to cover?
I wanted to mention the processing together
Yes.
Bible study. So Fresh Hope and the Lord used Pastor Brad to put together a 4-week Bible study that is called Processing Together. And it's meant to be for people to be able to overcome and process a shared crisis or a natural disaster. And actually, I think this is an emergency call for everybody out there and anybody who can hear us. If you think for a moment how many people around you how many lives have changed due to the COVID situation, and how much your life has changed.
Yeah.
So you need to attend a Processing Together group. This is being offered at no cost.
Yes.
And also you can go to the network, to the Fresh Hope website and get it. And you can lead a 4-week long Bible study with these materials and help yourself and help others process the pain of everything that we've been going on over the last 2 years or so.
Yes, the stress causes you to have a bit of trauma. It's I don't know that I'd call it full-blown trauma, but for some people, yes, it's been full-blown. But for many of us, just the stress and the strain and all of those kinds of things, plus all the political infighting we've had here in the United States. And I think the world now is just saying that's enough of COVID. We've had it, and Great idea. So do they go to the store to download it, or where is it?
Okay, the greatest way would be to, here's a very kind of difficult URL I wanted to share. But if you go to Linktree-Processing Together, so that's linktr.ee Processing Together. And then you just click, there's a menu. You will be able to see a menu and it says, get your Processing Together handbook here. You just click there and fill out a form and it will be sent to you immediately and
Great.
at no cost.
Yeah, and maybe we can have our IT guy put that in the store too, so people could download it from the store on the Fresh Hope site also. Look, let's talk about that offline sometime here.
You know what, Pastor Brad? I think it's there as well.
Okay, great.
I think it's already there as well.
Okay,
so yeah,
good.
You can just look at the store and get it. And it's for a donation of $0.
Yeah, zero, nothing. And you can use it as many times as you want and print as many copies as you'd like or need. So
yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, Sam, I'd like for you to just take a minute or two to just speak directly to the person listening today and just whatever the Lord lays on your heart to say to them. Would you?
Yeah, thank you. So what I would like to say is if you're out there listening, it is not by chance that you're listening to this podcast. And I don't know how you have been feeling lately. Maybe a little hopeless, maybe a little lacking motivation. But let me tell you that the Lord uses everything in our lives, even the painful things, for good. And He can give you a new purpose. He can redeem your pain, redeem your past. And if He did it with me, because if you knew my darkest moments, you wouldn't believe what the Lord has done. Like even my doctors say this is not the way bipolar disorder behaves, and and I'm like, well, this is what the Lord can do, it's amazing, and He can do it with you as well. And if He did it with Pastor Brad, if He did it with me, just take a step, start attending a group, or sign up to become a hope coach. Take a small step after having listened to all of this, and be a part of this.
Yes.
And let us know your story. We would love to hear from you.
Yeah. Hope. Research shows that hope is catching. And when you hang around hopeful people, you become more hopeful. And, we don't say, oh, you don't need your medicine or you don't need a doctor. No, we say you need a doctor, you need medicine, talk therapy, but you need something between those appointments, something, someone and others to help you just learn how to live life.
Yes.
In spite of having a disorder, living life well,
Exactly.
So that's what Fresh Hope is about. Well, my friends, that wraps up this edition of Fresh Hope for Mental Health. I really want to thank you, Sam, for being with me today. We can actually see each other. We're watching each other through Zoom, but recording through the studio. And so it's rather fun. I'm looking right at her, and I'm just grateful that you took time to be with us today. Well, my friend.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Well, friends, we really would love to hear from you. You can email us comments, questions, or insights, and we'll answer those questions on a program, or maybe you have ideas for a program for us. And you can call us, just go to freshhope.us. And of course, we're on all kinds of social media, as well as we have a YouTube channel. And if you go to freshhopeformentalhealth.com with the FOR or the number 4, you can see all of the podcasts there. Or if you found us on iTunes, would you do me a favor? And if you're receiving our podcast there, write a review. It doesn't, I'm not asking you to write a fancy review or anything like that, but it will help others find the podcast more easily through iTunes. And of course, you can always email Sam at samantha@freshhope.us. Please be sure to tell your friends about this program. And until the next time, may the Lord fill you with hope, fresh and new daily. I'm Brad Hafes, and this has been another edition of Fresh Hope for Mental Health.
You've been listening to Fresh Hope for Mental Health. If you have an opportunity, please review, share, and subscribe to the Fresh Hope for Mental Health podcast on iTunes or on the service that you use. We encourage you to share our podcast on social media with your friends and family. Previous podcasts of Fresh Hope for Mental Health can be found at freshhopeformentalhealth.com, iHeartRadio, Stitcher Radio, and iTunes. Fresh Hope is one of the leading networks of faith-based peer support groups internationally. For more information about Fresh Hope, go to freshhope.us.